You're listening to the Culips English podcast. To download the study guide for this episode, which includes the transcript, detailed vocabulary explanations, real-world examples, and a quiz, visit our website, culips.com. Culips.com. Hey everybody, my name is Andrew.
And my name is Morag.
And you're listening to Culips. Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of Simplified Speech. For everyone who doesn't know, Simplified Speech is the Culips series where we share completely natural, unscripted English conversations with you, but we speak a little bit slower than we do in our regular everyday lives. And today I am joined by Morag, live from Montreal, Canada. Morag, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing really well. And Morag, today we are going to talk about a topic that was suggested to us by a listener. And these are always my favorite kind of episodes because it's kind of like we get to interact with our listeners a bit, you know, Morag. It's fun. And today's topic suggestion comes from Rosie from Brazil. And Rosie would like us to talk about books, reading, and reading habits. Books, reading, and reading habits. So that is what we will talk about today.
I think Rosie and I would get along.
Yeah, because you're kind of a bookworm, aren't you, Morag?
I am. Books are definitely near and dear to my heart. I guess that's obvious from me doing 2 degrees in English literature.
All right, so we'll get into this topic in just a moment, but before we do, I would like to let everyone know about the study guide for this episode. It's probably the best way to study along with us here today, everyone. So if you are interested in downloading it, you just have to visit our website, culips.com, and you can do so. And inside the guide, you'll find a transcript, vocabulary, explanations, and definitions and examples of all of the key slang and difficult vocabulary that you'll hear us use today. And there's also a quiz and some prompts that you can use for journaling or speaking practice. It's really a useful thing to study along with, and it's available on our website. So check it out. Morag, you did 2 degrees in English. I did 1. You beat me.
I guess I beat you. I did have a good time, but it's not exactly paying the bills at this point. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's not the most lucrative degree that you can choose, is it?
No, but you do get to spend a wonderful amount of time reading.
So Rosie wanted us to talk about books, reading, and reading habits. Why don't we break the episode down into those 3 parts? So let's start with books. What kind of books do you enjoy reading, Morag?
Ooh, that's a difficult one. I enjoy reading mostly fiction.
Me as well.
But I'm going to turn that question on its head a bit and say that I enjoy reading soft cover books, usually ones that are less than 500 pages long, but more than 150 pages, and they should have a good smell to them.
Okay, so talking more about the physical book itself as opposed to the genre of literature.
Hmm.
So you like a paperback book, soft cover book. Why do you like a soft cover as opposed to a hardcover?
I like a flexible book. I bend them a lot. I wreck books when I read them. I'm one of those people that you don't want to borrow a book from because it might be falling apart a little.
Or even more so, you don't want to lend a book to.
Yeah, definitely that one.
Well, you're similar to me then because I destroy my books too. I write in my books. Do you do this?
I don't actually, but I wish I did. It's a habit that I've tried to cultivate.
Especially if I look at my books from when I was a student. If
Mm.
I was like writing a paper about a book, it just gets destroyed. There are so many sticky tabs and notes and underlines, and these days I still do it, not to the same extent, but if there's a passage that I like or a thought that I have while I'm reading something, then I'll just write directly in the novel and make a note.
I think that's a wonderful habit, but I think that because I've studied people's notes in books, in old books. So marginalia is what it's called. And it's so cool to read what somebody like 100 or hundreds of years ago was thinking about something that they were reading.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like you get to put a little part of yourself in your brain inside an object. It's super cool. But to go back to the first thing, I really do like reading fiction. I sometimes try to read nonfiction. I will try to read occasionally a self-help book, but I can't get through it.
Yeah, I also have a difficult time reading nonfiction. There are so many people that I like to listen to on podcasts or in documentaries or in lectures that are like experts on something because they read about that topic so much. They'll read
Mm-hmm.
every book about a certain period of history, or they'll read every book about a certain kind of economics. And I think to myself, wow, I should do that too. You know, if I
Right.
just read 20 books about this period of history, I will know a lot about that thing. But then I have a very difficult time actually doing that because I kind of get bored by nonfiction. I prefer to hear people talk about it than to read it, I suppose.
I'm with you. I like stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stories are where it's at.
Stories are fun. I just finished rereading American Gods by Neil Gaiman after watching the TV show.
Okay.
And man, storytelling. So good. That man is fantastic.
Yeah, he's really talented, right? A very
Mm-hmm.
popular writer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of our listeners have read him before.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you like paperbacks, fiction, stories, and maybe we should transition now into reading habits because this is another one of the things that Rosie is curious about. What are your reading habits like these days? Do you have much time to read or not too much time to read?
I am making time to read these days.
Okay.
I used to think it was kind of funny that my mom would always go to bed early and read in bed, maybe an hour before actual bedtime. Go
Mm-hmm.
have a cup of tea, read in bed.
Yeah, my mom's the same.
I am now finding myself doing this exact thing and loving it. It's
Oh, wow.
fantastic. Yeah.
So I have a question about this. What do you do with your phone during this reading period?
It is near me, but not visible.
Okay.
Yep.
Near you, but not visible.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Good. So do you do this every night or a couple times a week?
I do it mostly on weeknights. I think it's a really good way to wind down from screen time, especially as I do work entirely on a computer, and video gaming is one of my main hobbies.
Right.
So winding down from that is great. So I try to do that as often as possible on the weeknights. But I'm only human.
Sure. Actually, my reading habits are opposite of yours. I try to dedicate time in the morning when I wake up because I find that at night I'm usually just sleepy. And if I try to read, I just end up falling asleep.
But you're a bit of an early bird, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a bit of an early bird. This sounds kind of pretentious, but I don't read too much in English these days. I'm just
Oh.
reading Korean books as a way to study Korean and build my vocabulary. And I'm kind of finally at that point where I can enjoy novels in Korean. So I, of course, have to use the dictionary frequently, but I can understand the story with the help of a dictionary. So it's nice. I can read in Korean and study and also get my story time in at the same time. But this takes more effort than it does in English, of course. So if I do it at night after a day of work, it's just too much. So I do it in the morning when I'm fresh for a bit. Usually only like 30 minutes, maybe 3 times a week. But yeah, this is what I'm doing these days for reading.
I think I might have to take a leaf out of your book and do French reading in the morning.
Yeah, you should try it. It's
because
nice.
Part of the point of the before bed reading is relaxation. It's part of the reason, just to have a nice time and become sleepy. But reading in another language does take a lot of focus. So I think I might steal that trick. 30 minutes. All right.
Yeah. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. And okay, Morag, I have one more question for you here.
Cool.
Ebooks. Yes or no?
No.
No.
No. I think I might be too much of a bibliophile. And by that, I mean just the physicality of the books themselves. I enjoy them as objects so much that having an ebook, it's just not, it just doesn't do it for me.
I get you. I feel you on that one. I also like having a physical book, holding it, writing in it, as I mentioned, and as you mentioned, smelling it, because books have a very unique, particular smell. There's something about them that's just really nice. But at the same time, living in a foreign country and being kind of anti stuff, because I know that where I'm living now won't be forever, I try not to accumulate too many books. So Korean books, I do like to have the physical copy, but when I do read in English, I have a Kindle and I just read digital copies of English books.
I think that's entirely laudable, but I will always be the person who moved 4,500 kilometers away with more books than clothing.
Yeah, I think my parents are quite angry at me these days because I just have boxes and boxes of books.
Oh, at their place, yeah, it's the same with my mom. Oh, no. Oh, dear.
I feel bad about that, but it's so hard to get rid of your book collection when you look at them. And I always have it in the back of my mind, like, oh, one day I'll have a house and I'll have a library.
One day, maybe.
I've been saying that for maybe 10 years now.
Yeah, but I'm still going to hold out.
Yeah, me too. Hold on to the dream. Yeah. All right. Well, Rosie, thank you for the episode suggestion. It was very fun to talk about books, and Morag, thanks for giving us some insight into your reading life.
Oh, it's great fun.
Keep these episode suggestions coming. We love to talk about what you guys want to hear about. So you can send us an email to our email address, which is contact@culips.com, to let us know your suggestions. And as well, you can visit our website, culips.com, to listen to past episodes or to download the study guide for this episode. And finally, if you haven't already, please follow us on social media. You can stay up to date with all of the news here at Culips. And yeah, just find us wherever you use social media, Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. Just search for Culips English Podcast and you can find us. We'll be back soon with another episode and we'll talk to you then. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.